Hi, my loves. Welcome back to Vanity Fair. I'm your host. My name is Chris Farah, and today I'm talking 90 Day Single Life. It's season 5, episode 8, The Act of Being Sus. Honey, a lot of sus happening here. I suspect some of these things are not even real. I'll tell you who's acting sus. Sharp Entertainment. I'm not quite sure, but I will say this is a. Okay. I don't watch The Single Life often. So, having said that, am I super familiar with this format? No. But this just seems like extra footage of people they decided to follow for whatever reason. And then they were like, well, is it diaries? Is it what is it? Like, let's put them on Single Life. Like, because a couple of these peeps like have nothing to do with dating and finding someone. And I'll tell you why. Okay. In actuality. Okay. So let's start. Let's start with Pedro and Sophie. So this is hot on the heels of, Pedro finally being like, "Hey, Sophie, come meet my parents. Come meet my mom. Come meet my sister. Um, they're a little crazy, but it's gonna be good." Now, if he actually wanted them to like Sophie, I would assume he would know he would have to really lay some fake foundation work, telling them how she's wifey material, how she'd be such a good mother, how she loves family, very close to her own family, how she is, I mean, really into him, honestly and genuinely into him, and that he has never felt this way. Now, has he said any of that to them? No. He met with Nicole and was like, I don't know about her. And, literally let his sister Nicole show off her brand new face on this season of Single Life. And he knew what she was going to do with that face. She knew, I mean, he knew that Nicole, with her brand new nose and all the stuff that's happening with her, was going to yell at Sophie. Now, thankfully, the producers and or the way the tide turn is Sophie looks bad this season. I'm not saying physically she looks fine, but personality wise and like intention wise and like emotional like maturity wise, and it's a really bad look. She basically bullied Liz, who's cancer stricken, and has just played back and forth of being into and not into Pedro. And so, and the whole time has lied to us about a bunch of things. And by us, I mean the audience. I'll never forgive her for being like, I found this guy online and it was him and he was so hot. And oh my God. And I found out later that he was on 90 Day Fiance. Fucking bullshit. I mean, and especially now in this episode, she's like, yeah. And then I saw when Chantel called Nicole a bitch. And I was like, yeah, Sophie, you were there probably in real time watching about the harvesting the American dollar, bitch. You know this family. Okay. There was just so many weird moments where I'm like, oh my God, girl, no, I can't be on your team. So having said that, we are hot on the heels in the fact that Sophie said, you and your fucking mom to Nicole. And obviously she meant Lydia, Pedro's mom. Now, it seems like Pedro heard that in real time, knows it happened. Now, it's interesting why he then didn't say something in that moment or come up to her. It's like, did you hear that and just let it go and then held on to it in your mind? And when Nicole was like, that's why I got mad at her. Okay. Nicole's like, fuck her. It's my birthday, leave. And it's true. You can leave. It's my birthday. And yeah, that's true. Why would you even come? I would say this. Two things happen on this show. Don't come to someone's family party. Don't come to someone's cousin's home. Don't come to someone's sister's birthday. Don't even go to the person you're dating's birthday unless you like them. If you're going to be around someone you are dating's family, that it looks like you are being serious with them. I mean, I don't know why this is like a PSA announcement. So none of this really rings super true. Like all of this feels manufactured. And I'm not super excited about it because at this point, we just had a whole other episode where I'm like, "Give me back to Liz. Where's Liz and Villa?" Then we're like, just in, are they just like fucking in the most beautiful penthouse back at that hotel? Are we not being able to see any of that? I mean, I want to see her fucking. I mean, I would. Anything would be better than what I'm watching now, truly. I just like this cannot be it. This is so boring. Anyway, so God bless. So the next morning, Pedro is, I don't know why I say his name 1 billion times. It's my own fault. Pedro was like, yeah, I walked her out, but I just have flashbacks to Chantel. I thought Sophie was different, but no. The next morning, he says that he feels like trash. We're like, okay. And then he said things are going well, but his family ruined everything. But then he also says that again, Sophie reminds him a little bit of the Chantel situation, who he says Chantel was toxic to his family. So I kind of want to be like, so which one is it, buddy? Who's toxic here and who's not? Whose side are you on? Because it feels like he knows in his heart that his family is obviously like, not into him being with women. Or unless every woman that he's attracted to. The thing about it is like, I think that Lydia and Nicole are a little bit like, he always loves fake looking, kind of like big bootied or like, over the top vain or vapid females. And I think that at their core, they're not going to be into that. They're either going to be like, that person's fake or they're going to be jealous of that person. So it's like, I wonder who they think would be perfect. And I feel like if they tried to set him up with someone they wanted, he wouldn't be attracted to her. Anyway, so now Pedro's mom, Lydia, is very intense, and she's very judgmental. And, her saying to Sophie that Sophie should have had contact with her son's banana, like, I wouldn't be able to stand that, right? I think the difference is like, if someone says that to me, I won't ever say anything for the rest of the night to the family because you would know intrinsically that, like, this isn't for you. But Sophie just seems to be really upset about that and then holds it. And then, yeah, like, obviously yells at Nicole. And here we are. The next morning, he goes to get Sophie and she's wearing like a wild outfit. It's like this, like, skin tight navy number and a big old hat. And then they talk and they apologize to each other. But then we get a Sophie like, I'm going to have to take a step back. And it's like, bitch, you've already had like 14 steps back. This is not watchable. Sharp Entertainment. It's not watchable to have someone like, oh, I like you. Oh, I'm not. Because the truth of the matter is Pedro and Sophie have never had good sexual chem. They look so awkward together. They're not fun. You didn't even set up them dating before they got to the DR. Like, that's another part of like this single life. Like, we would have had to see them have some fun together, like in real life, and then have her come to his sister's birthday. But this just to be here and then have her be like, I don't know if I'm into him. It's like, I wouldn't want to watch it in real life. And this is fake. This is not real life. So this is unwatchable to me. Um, Julia's doing what the fuck Julia's doing. Like, this is so weird. And it's, what's funny about it? It's just that you really can tell that the producers wish they could do everything with the franchise. They're like, we wish the franchise was kind of like Bachelor and Bachelor Nation, where we can like make people hook up with each other. We kind of wish the franchise was like Real Housewives, where they were friends with each other and also had drama, like, Lauren and Libby. Like, they want so badly for there to be authentic relationships within the cast. And except for maybe Colt and Courtney, like, it's not what the show's about. It's too manufactured, it's too contrived. And that's the honest to God reason why the Bad Boys or what the fuck, Jamal and all, like, none of that's watchable. It's not entertaining. I'm so sorry. It's not real. Like, I don't even know why anyone thought that three guys just lip syncing together like a fucking bunch of 11-year-olds on TikTok was going to be fun. It's not. You're not Madison Beer. It's like, I don't even understand your relationship. It's you guys. It just feels like late stage capitalism. It just feels like money grabbing, and it just feels like real fake, real inauthentic. And I just, ugh. But I wish that the producers knew how to work with what makes 90 Day Fiance great, which is, you know, authentic people figuring out cultural differences, their own differences, trying to communicate that under obviously a time crunch with high ass stakes. And that's why, honestly, when they do new seasons of 90 Day Fiance, I feel like that's their bread and butter. Obviously, it's going to get big ratings. In fact, they announced the new season of 90 Day Fiance. It's going to premiere in May with a bunch of new couples and characters, and it looks great. There's one lady from Marissa I found out is one of the consultants from Say Yes to the Dress from Kleinfeld. Like, you know what I'm saying? The New York bridal salon that loves Panina Tornay. Also, there's like an Egyptian actor who's a virgin. Like, I can't wait. Okay. Anyway, there's like a bunch of people from Alabama for some reason. Like, it's like did the casting for this one season just like drive through every city of Alabama and was like, it's an Alabama heavy episode. It's all Bama. Okay. Anyway, it does look great. And that's what we want. Anyway, yeah. It's really hard to say this, and it's going to sound mean. There has never been a 90-day cast member that has come out of the franchise that is truly a great, watchable for a long time reality show star, except maybe for Darcy. And the thing about why I say it's not great for Darcy is because Darcy's own insecurity and mental illness, plagued by her sister, have, made them do so much plastic surgery that part doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like someone you can watch and like want to know what's happening in their life, because what they broadcast is just like procedure after procedure with like surgical utensils on their Insta. So much of their like Instagram is like getting surgeries paid for again, and just like pictures in the middle of the medical process. And it's like, oh my, that's not what we like about you. Do you remember how like what we wanted from you was like your sincere effort to fall in love and find love? But then both of them literally hitched their wagons to like young European men who couldn't give any fucks about them. So now with Darcy and like Stacy, it's like we get like an endless cycle of them now trying to find love with like Florian and Georgie. They hate them. Everyone, I mean, they hate them. So it's never going to be real. Like, get these women off the fucking, doctor's tables and get them into fucking matchmaking events like in Connecticut. Like, I want to watch her be single in Miami. Like, there are men that will date them, because they are, physically the way they look, because they're famous, like whatever. It's not going to be hard to find men that like to watch them date. So yeah, it's God, I wish I could produce this show. Okay, so yeah, literally what they got. Pedro and Sophie are like, well, I'm gonna like see what happens. It's like, no, don't do me any fucking favors. Let's move on to Vanya. So Vanya's situation's interesting. So Vanya again is on Single Life, and then episode 2 was like, I really want to be boyfriend and girlfriend with this guy named Tony, who obviously did not want to be a boyfriend and girlfriend situation with her. Tony obviously wants to showcase being cool, being someone who affords a hot rod car. He's pushing 52. He is gonna say crazy ass shit like how his marriage of 8 months, ended because of lack of communication on both their parts. Yeah. I don't. Okay. I could see you being maybe with someone for a long time and communication breaks down for lots of reasons. But if you have waited so fucking long to finally get married, because I don't know, you probably never were like emotionally ready, and then suddenly someone, I don't know, put a gun to your head, who knows? But let's just say you do that. How do you not communicate with someone over a 5 to 8 month period well? Like, how does it already break down that much? Also, for him to be like, it was a lack of communication on both our parts. Bitch, what? I feel like Tony was a doctor and wouldn't fucking give two shits talking to this person. And then he seems He seems really not it. He seems like, bottom of the barrel. And by that, I mean, he seems like someone who wants so badly to be something, and that something is cool or hot or like, like a little bit of like a playboy. I don't know who he thinks he deserves in his life, but he's not debonair. He's not charming. He would be lucky to get, anyone. And Vanya is an interesting, beautiful lady. Now, we find out that Tony is a doctor. He certainly dresses like trash. He dresses horribly. And listen, maybe it's a Florida thing, and don't come for me if it is. But I'm saying if he's a doctor and drives that red car, he's definitely not dressing classy at all. And the reason why I bring this up is because, you know, I haven't been married to a doctor, but I know that doctors have events, right? They have dinners, they have like different things they have to go to, and to like socially be in certain situations as like a married couple, or I think that you will have to move in different you will have to move in different circles, you know, doctor medical circles, and usually those are like a little bit conservative and a little, they're filled with people who are usually very highly educated and whatnot. Why do I say this? Because certainly he is not classy, but I can't imagine a world in which Vanya at her age understands that she would be like a doctor's wife. Like, does she know that she has to like wear cream and go to dinners with like understated pearls and like, I mean, there's a little bit of that. Now, maybe she's like, "No, Chris, I fucking don't. Haven't you seen him? He doesn't do that shit." And I'm like, "Okay, fine, Vanya, fine." Vanya felt like she was like, "He's a doctor." She likes, okay, so the whole thing with this storyline is that we're supposed to believe that Vanya, who was single for 2 seconds and decided to like rope this man into saying they're boyfriend and girlfriend when he didn't really want that, he's not ready for it and he's like, no prize. But she's like, oh my God, he has a red car. And they haven't really been dating that long. But now she's decided to invite him up to her cousin's house for her birthday, which seems, I mean, that seems too soon, but they shouldn't be boyfriend and girlfriend yet. Like they should be dating right now. And the boyfriend and girlfriend conversation should happen, I don't know, at the end of the goddamn season. And that would be the end of single life. She would then be not in her single life. Like that's how a storyline goes. Okay. So we had met her cousin before because, we've seen Vanya before. And the first part is that she's going to get there and then get some permanent makeup touched up. And we're like, what? No. Now, our cousin has cute glasses. And with those glasses, she can see that Vanya has a certain aesthetic. First of all, it's like mermaid. It's like she loves pink, purple, blues. Like there's something about Vanya that's very like, give me the shade range from pink to blue to purple. It's like, that's it. Lilac, lavender, under the sea only. Like nails ombre. She's wearing a rock, uh, a rock ring. She lays down with full face makeup to get permanent makeup put on her. Why? Now, I think it's fun to have fun with makeup. Now, would love. Here's the thing about. Okay, Vanya loves color. I get it. She loves certain colors. She like relies heavily on, I already said her palette, and it's that all the time. It's going to be pink or purple eyeshadow, period. It's thick, it's matte, it's MAC. It's like it's happening. I think there is like a fun to having different looks. What I would give to be able to do like a full like Nina Park style makeup under for Vanya, like get me like a tight eye, like a tight line with like black, like barely like tiny baby cat eye or something. Like she loves her fake eyelashes. I would do it a little more wispy, not so thick, a little wispier, not so concentrated of the same length but like maybe some beautiful longer pieces in the middle of her eyes, because I think they would open it up a little bit. Like I would love to give her a make under. I mean, Take down some of the colors, but still give her color. Like, I think that she enjoys having color, obviously, on her lips and her eyes. You can still do like a beautiful rose-colored mauve and or like rose eye and then like a really fun bright pink lip, right? I just don't want bright pink eyeshadow that matches the lip. Everything she would I think that she would kind of blossom. I think that with a different makeup look, I think that she would certainly look softer. And I wonder if like yeah, like to be able just to massage her entire aura and be able to just take everything down a notch. How deeply she wants to be in a relationship, that kind of like empty hole and how much anxiety she has with it. Tony isn't the one, and she knows it. So as she's talking to her cousin, and as her cousin's putting on who knows what kind of like permanent lip on her and everything, she's like, Tony took me out for a beautiful dinner, and then he dropped me off, and then he went to a club slash bar by himself. And it's a bad look. You don't do that. Why? Okay, first of all, let's just put it out there. If you are dating someone and then you go to dinner with them, and let's just say your friends want you to stop by a bar later, you would tell the person you're dating, especially by this point, your boyfriend and girlfriend, hey, do you want to stop by blobbity blue, bloobity blue? They're hanging out there. Any other option is weird. Like for him not to ask her means he didn't want her to go. Now, if it was because he didn't want her to go, then he doesn't want her to go either to meet his friends because he doesn't feel like they'll like him or like her, or he thinks that she's too much, or he's afraid of like what they'll say, or he is in fact going to meet someone else or have the possibility of meeting someone else. Tony is not young. And now we know he's a doctor. So at some point he's got to go to bed, right? Because he's supposed to, I don't know, he's supposed to be paid like large amounts of money to do good work. He's old as fuck. So like, what the fuck are you doing at a bar and a club, buddy? Like in Miami with that car, except wanting so bad to like run around with every like who you think hot piece is in Miami. Like, I feel like, I feel like if you were like Elise, have you seen that asshole over there, that Tony? Elise would be like, yeah, I see him everywhere. And he like foams at the mouth every time I walk by. And I've had to, turn him down 1 billion times. I feel like that's the kind of vibe Tony gives. So anyway, ugh. So he comes to meet up with her cousin and he's like, hey guys. And she's like, yeah, hi. What do you want to drink? He's like, bourbon neat. And we're like, okay. Everything is like, there's something about Tony that is trying so hard. But then Vanya does too, right? Like in their respective ways, they're both tryhards. Okay. So the other thing that, irks me to my core is that Vanya supposedly was best friends with Tony for like a year and a half. No, you weren't. When she also was like, yeah, but then we also were like hanging out. But then he had a girlfriend who was so upset. Well, then you weren't best friends then. You thought that you were hooking up or hanging out, or you were just friends and you didn't know where you were yet. And then she says, obviously we know they're boyfriend and girlfriend now. But she's like, but I haven't talked to him about the celibate part of me yet. And we're like, bitch, what? Why? That's why you date before you like put a label on someone. That's why. So when you are dating, you are going to dinners or drinks with someone and you're talking about the things that you're talking about now. You are seeing how he acts as well. Like you're seeing that this person's like, okay, have a good night. Bye. I'm going to go to the bar. Like it's a piece of information that if you are not boyfriend and girlfriend with someone yet and you get that piece of information, you know that the person doesn't want to be with you. You don't have to like pretend that the boyfriend girlfriend thing happened. Yeah, like it doesn't make sense for you want For you to want someone to be like, yes, I'll be your boyfriend, and not give them the very real and important conversation that you have your, sexuality slash vagina on lockdown. She can do whatever she wants with her body, but why would you not have that conversation before you like make someone say he's your boyfriend? Also, what have you guys done? Like sexual wise. And is it logical to think that you're going to like make someone be your boyfriend or girlfriend without like having done much sexual stuff? None of it makes sense. Everything just feels so like, "Ugh, what are you, 13? What are you like? Is this Have you gone into your caboodle with all your Lisa Frank makeup and put it all on and you're just like, I really want a boyfriend. That's what happens in Sweet Valley High. And so you like get this guy that's like, doctor, you think he's a doctor and he has a sports car. Good, a red sports car. It's so like 90s, which is everything I'm saying, every reference I'm saying right now, Sweet Valley High, everything I'm saying, caboodle, 90s. There's a reason why. Like that's is this where you have stopped in your like growth cycle and so you still act this way being 13 or 14 in the 90s? I mean, that's me. I don't understand it. I need someone to tell me. Why would you have someone be your boyfriend without telling them like anything about how you experience sexuality right now in life? I just cannot imagine being like, "Will you be my boyfriend?" Good. I don't have sex. You would have to have like an honest conversation of what that means, of what intimacy means before you do that. Why does anyone Anyway, okay, I'll let it go. So basically, they all sit down and then, the 14-year-old, God bless, wants s'mores. So she's like, "Good. I'm gonna go get s'mores and then I'm gonna leave my cousin to grill him." And the cousin does. And then Tony gets upset and Tony's like, "Yeah, I'm just really tired. I can't eat any s'mores. It's just a long day from being a doctor and just being like super cool and just like running around in the sports car. I'm tired as fuck." We're like, okay. So then he comes inside and she's like, "Oh, okay, okay, no s'mores for you. Is everything okay?" And then he says that her cousin full on assaulted him. What? I'm sorry. When she asked you the questions of are you gonna fuck over my cousin? And why did you go to a bar afterward? That was what you consider a full on assault? What a dramatic crybaby. I mean, what a little boy. Like, that's not assault, you weirdo. Oh God. Tony is toxic. And Vanya is too desperate to not see it. And she's really upset if you call her desperate online. Like she takes it as a big fucking offense. And girl, then please stop acting that way. Okay? Please stop acting that way then. Just be single. Here's the thing. Love yourself and be single then. And stop trying to get with stupid assholes that don't like you. Like are embarrassing. Girl, like you can just judge them. Why don't you just date until you find someone who truly makes you feel great? And makes you feel great doesn't mean take you to one dinner in like a fancy car that he is like leasing. Makes you feel great. I mean, it should be this like inward feeling of safety, security, if like maybe a little surprise. And the surprise maybe is that someone's actions align with their words. They have like commitment. If they say something, they'll do something. That they have no problem making you feel special, good, cherished, wanted. I mean, like, can we for ourselves find that instead of like wanting certain boxes checked, going on fancy dates? I don't know. So Basically, then, after that really awkward conversation with his cousin, he's told that he's gonna sleep downstairs, and he's upset about it. He's like, "Where are you sleeping?" And she's like, "Upstairs," and he, like, basically rolls his eyes like he's a horny teenager, which then makes me feel, what did you expect? You're gonna, like, come and fuck her in her cousin's house for her birthday trip when you haven't, what, had sex yet? How much sex have you had? Yeah, because he looks so upset about this. I'm like, is he used to getting some BJs and handies and really thought that, like, the assault was gonna warrant one of those? Then Vanya's like, "I don't have to tell you guys because something else happened today, and I wasn't able to tell my cousin yet, and it's even worse." And we're like, "Is it that his ex-wife reached out to you? Because I bet you anything she's very good at communication. Something tells me." Okay, Kimbali, honey. So she picks up Larry and Jamal again. This is Kimberly on the single life, which, is interesting because to me it feels not at all like single life and more like family matters. Which is, I mean, come on. So, let's just be honest. So again, she's like picking up like the scene is that she picks up Larry, like Larry's staying in the hotel, some hotel, it's San Diego, it's probably really beautiful, like the JW Marriott or something, God bless. And Jamal is, with her. And I want to say this, people online are like feeling for Jamal and like Jamal's situation in this. And I agree. But the reason why I haven't really talked about Jamal's feeling about this is because Jamal at this point seems to have forgiven his mother and on the journey of single life with his mom. Like I feels like he is yeah, it feels like he is supportive of her. So this this being her journey, like what is that it's about? This being her journey, it's why I've sort of focused on the the bravery of what she had to do, which is like come clean with a bunch of stuff that was like really causing her shame. Now, again, I don't quite understand why this is on single life, but whatever, God bless. And she feels lighter. She feels looser. She feels like she can glow. Jamal's like, yeah, I'm seeing you glow. You know what I'm saying? Like even Debbie in the next scene is going to be like, I'm blinded by the glow of Kimberly. It's a whole thing. Kimberly, obviously, we know is now kind of on the hunt, besides for love, for her daughter, and she had called her daughter Jennifer. We don't know if Jennifer is that person's still name. I'm sorry, that person's name, um, or anything else about that person. Um, and Kimberly says it's not so much that my biggest fear is that my daughter wouldn't want to see me. My biggest fear is that she's no longer like on God's green earth, or that she needed me in a way that I wasn't able to give her something. Which in itself is like, well, you didn't. I mean, she probably didn't need her birth mom, and that, but I don't know if she meant like bone marrow or something like that later. So I wonder if we're gonna meet Jennifer. We certainly haven't gotten a picture or anything, but that would make sense that we wouldn't. But God, I almost feel like I cannot imagine that we actually find Jennifer on this story. Because if this whole like if Kimberly's whole single life is about family matters, is about putting her family back together, and if we actually meet Jennifer, why is this on Single Life? Like, why wouldn't this be on a different show? Make it then make a different show or give Kimberly a spinoff or like, a three-part series or make it on Diaries. I mean, or I don't know. It's confusing to me. But Kimberly wants to fly her daughter out, like I said. And as I talk about this, they kind of look over and they see some seals. And she says seals are her favorite animals. She says they are loud and fat like her. Seals are supposed to be really, really cute. I like seals. Single seals and penguins are like these aquatic animals that move in ways that like delight me. Both seals, like, because they got to flop around, and penguins. The way they move just, like tickles my fancy. Um, Kimberly has a lot of positive parts of her. To me, she's not like a toxic reality show person. It kind of almost feels like the producers find a certain like joy within her and then are just like kind of giving her this whole series to, you know, like to change her life kind of. God, how do I say that? It's not like and I say her change her life, it almost feels like 90-day life glow up, 90-day, you know, let go of the shame, 90-day new me or something, which in itself is a cool idea. It doesn't have to be like 90 Day Fiance people, but if you had someone who had things they had to go through and you can follow them over more than one episode. So, cuz it could feel a little bit like, oh my god, what's the gay the oh no, what's the gay show that is like the makeover show that everyone loves? Oh no, Jonathan Van Ness on it. You know I'm talking about. Whatever, God bless. Okay. My point of the story is if you had a show where people could really go with over multiple episodes and release trauma, work through trauma, and that's why you need more than one episode. It's almost like months of doing certain things and like following them. I think it'd be a really beautiful series, like a documentary style series on healing oneself. Because that is technically what Kimberly is doing. Like she's healing her soul, right? And I think really and I think that there's a lot of like hope and positivity. I think it'd be like a really great show for us to watch. Like it's inspiring. Kimberly also, if listen to reality show recap podcasts, I don't know, like the one you're doing now, please give me 5 stars. Go listen to Pink Shade. Kimberly was on Pink Shade and I think also gave a lot of information about where she is, and she's also going to get her teeth done. So, that's exciting because I know that that's something that she has talked about before. And when you there's something to being able to feel more joy and to be able to smile and all of that. And my heart hurts for people who don't feel like they enjoy their smile because of their teeth or I don't know, many different, I guess, physical things that could happen that makes you feel like you shouldn't smile. But it's such like a natural human reaction to smile and to laugh. And so it must be really like a fucked up thing to smile or to laugh naturally because something is great or joyous. And then the minute that happens, also have a thought that, oh no, don't do that. Don't smile. Don't show your teeth. It looks bad or it doesn't make me feel good. I feel whatever a certain way because of my smile the way it looks. I haven't had to deal with that one aspect of looks, whatnot, because I got braces when I was really young. But it must be like a psychologically fucked up thing to have your mind try and stop your joy in the moment because you're self-conscious of the way you look, you know? And that happens a lot, right? Like, so the way I think that I can relate to that is there's I've never really enjoyed the way I look in a bathing suit. Like maybe if I have a cover up on, sure, certainly if I have a sarong that like kind of starts at like my waist and like goes and covers like my hips, sure, whatever, God bless. And then I can't be like sitting down. I have to, there's always annoying things that come into my mind if I'm wearing a bathing suit, right? But in Southern California, or if you go on vacation, oftentimes you find yourself in a bathing suit. And if you're like in a bathing suit, usually you're in like a positive, exciting mindset. Maybe you're at a pool, maybe you're having fun, you're like, on vacation. So like I do know what it's like to be in like a happy environment and then have someone take a picture and then have to think, "Oh no." And it does suck. So my heart goes out to Kimberly for that. And I know that it's a delicate line of like changing your looks, right? I certainly talked about how it's hard to watch the Silva sisters, like with all of their like different sutures and things on their Instagrams, whatnot, like putting filler in, getting it dissolved, who knows what. But I love that for Kimberly. I hope that she gets, like a really great, beautiful smile that's like done really well. And, they've taken care of the dental work that needs to happen. It's not just for looks only, like in the America's Next Top Model kind of way. And I would love to see her like smile with like, full force. So, I We'll see what happens. Let's move on to the best. Colt and Courtney. I'm so happy about this. This is great. So, Debbie Coachy shows up. No, Debbie shows up to the motel and she's wearing a fucking like judgmental cat shirt that just goes meh. Okay, with her Canadian lover that she found, honey on the single life, and she's in a scooter and she's made her way down from Canada, and she finds her only son in the motel in a wheelchair, and she knows why that's happened and why he's there, and he says, Colty says that his mom, is there to take care of him and that, no one can do it like his mom. And that's going to come back to be so interesting to me. So when Colty's talking to Debbie, he's like, "Yeah, Courtney's just like crying a lot," and Debbie's like, "Well, I'll go talk to her," and Colty's like, "Well, she doesn't want to take me back." Um, Colty's like, "I was living." I'm so sorry, mom, if you don't just make sure. I was living at her parents' house and she's literally taking care of me. And I'm like, can't do anything. Truly not. And what I did is I started cheating on her and sending dick videos to someone else at her parents' home. That's why. And Debbie hears that and is like, I'll make it right. And we're like, what? Don't worry, I'll do it. You're like, no, girl, what? So then Debbie has the audacity to go over to Courtney's parents' house, and Courtney's sweet ass, nice ass parents fucking hate Colt now. Like they hate him. They almost like don't want this woman in their home. It's also funny because Courtney's parents' house is like gorgeous. Really big, beautiful home. Huge, like curb appeal, if you will. And there's a moment where I like see Debbie must be like driving up to this fucking home and being like, what the fuck is wrong with Colt? When we say that Colt shit the bed, he shit, a California king. So then she has to roll up into this parent's home with that meh cat shirt and her like, red cool dyed hair with her gray hairs coming through. And she's like, you know what? I just have to convince Courtney to give Colt one last chance. I need to convince Courtney that it would be a mistake if she didn't. And we're like, that's not true, though. It would be a huge mistake if she did. Huge. Now, when she gets there, her parents are scooping out something. I don't know, like if it's cantaloupe. I'm like, what are you scooping, honey? And then Debbie comes in, like she hugs Courtney. They have only talked on FaceTime. Fred, who is Courtney's dad, fucking hates Colt. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Colt hurt our flesh and blood. And we're sitting here as nice people. You think we're super cute. We just think we're just golf all goddamn day. I'll tell you right now that if my daughter wasn't on television right now, if I could, his body would be in the desert. My name's Fred. Know this. By the grace of God, my daughter met someone on a reality show and he fucked her up like this, and I can't kill him. I can't. It'll come back on us, unfortunately. But like he winks, so literally at camera. This is where it gets really awkward, and I'm so happy for Courtney, who like knows it. Debbie comes in with like, well, he really thinks that if you gave him another chance, he just wouldn't do it again. And she's like, oh no, he would absolutely keep doing it. Come on. You haven't met your son? I wish Courtney would be like, oh, Debbie, you have raised an absolute fucking asshole for a son. Why? The only like he is going to keep doing it just like he did it to everyone else. Why are you lying to me? Do you lie to yourself like this every night? Because you're not going to lie to me in my parents' home. I've had enough lies from your fucking family. Like, what? You can roll right out of here, honey. Like, I mean, I used to like Debbie, but like this scene, absolutely not. So Courtney even goes as far, which is true, to call Debbie an enabler. I'm like, yeah, but it's much more than being an enabler. And I think that Courtney knows this. Debbie doesn't want responsibility of the monster that she created. And now the monster can't walk. has no money, can't walk, no money. And this bitch is like, not my problem. Can he still be your problem? Like, no. Courtney's like, no, I just need to give him back to Debbie and be like, good luck. There is no world in which I would get back with Colt. So she can just, honey, pack it up, take him back to Canada, blame Canada. I know I make that joke a lot, but just take them with you, because that is the best part. The best part is like, I didn't have anywhere to go after Hunt for Love and no one to take me in, blah, 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 blah. But now certainly he does. He has two people right here. If he does not get on a plane with his mom, Debbie, then you know two things. Debbie and him aren't fucking shit. Debbie should put him right in that little weird basket in the back of her moped and then scoot him right to Canada. And I don't know, like, let him realize that he's going to live with his mom for the rest of his life. Every chance he's ever had to be with a normal woman, it's been taken away from him. And he had chances to be with not normal women, and those chances have been taken away. He's had every chance. He's been with Brazilian hot-headed ladies. He's been with young Brazilian hot-headed ladies. He's been with, like Latina American ladies. He's been with blonde. Like, every one of them isn't going to work. So might as well go back to Debbie and just like, masturbate for the rest of your life, Gooner style, and hopefully your stepdad doesn't hear you. That's it. And I kind of love it. I do love it. Great. Like, I hope to God that this rest of the season of Single Life, like, or if there's any more episodes, I want to see Courtney go on dates. I want to see Courtney go on a date. I want to see anyone go on a date. Like, what the fuck? Kimberly, no. Courtney, no. Sophie and like, maybe there are no dates on the show. There are no like fun meeting people. The amount of like actual dating or single lifing, it's just, or maybe the whole point is it's actually single life. But maybe I just didn't know the format of the show, and the format of the show is no one actually fucking dates. It's just super singles being single, always single. God, though. We'll see. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet, you can absolutely follow me. I'm at Chris L. Farah on all of your social medias, like TikTok, like Instagram. I have a Patreon. I have a Substack. Honey, I have a Facebook group. It's called Vanity Farah. You can also like my page, Chris Farah, on on Facebook. I have fun things going viral. If you haven't met the new cast members for 90 Day Fiance, please go and see the work I have done. My like viral posts right now on Instagram is like a fun video I made introducing all of them. So go and say hi, Chris, if you want. Also give this podcast 5 stars if you haven't yet. These are all fun, free things that can really help me. Of course, if you want to give me money, you can join my Patreon. You always get the visuals before anyone else. That's you. And also just like the knowledge that, that's the way that you can, like, if you want, make sure I can do podcasting for the rest of my life. Other fun things on my Instagram is I made a traders submission video. So if you want to help me, you can share that submission video or, tag the casting. Other than that, though, you don't have to do anything. I really am appreciative that anyone would listen to me talk about something for any amount of time. Truly. So let's do our breaths and then I'll let you go. All right, my babes. Why? Why are we breathing? Because certainly someone has to in this world. Breathing just to make sure that we're alive, breathing so we can feel ourselves, breathing that we just check in. What is actually happening with us? How do we feel? I like to just put my hands on my thighs and sort of like masturbate. Just kidding. No, I like to just feel a little bit of friction as I start the process, just like I feel the sense of touch on both my hands and, my legs or feet on the floor, that kind of like grounding feeling, or when they say like, sit bones, where you just take a moment to actually feel your body in space and then use a sense of your choosing to bring your mind into the present moment, like your breath. That's not really a sense. Or you can use my voice, but something happening in the room so that you can quiet any thoughts of the past or any planning for the future, but be present. Just be like, where am I right now? Here. Good. I am safe. I get to just breathe and know that I existed perfectly in this moment, and odds are that'll continue. So let's do the work. 2 breaths. One more. You are here, and so am I. Okay, my babes. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe. Make art. Are you enjoying the comeback? Talk about art. Oh my God. Can you just imagine? Just one side note. When I say talk about art, it comes in so many ways. And one way that it can come is someone like Lisa Kudrow and other people making a television show that has 3 seasons, and every season has 10 years in between them. If you are a fan of the comeback, it's on right now, the 3rd season. So airs on Sundays. That means if you're listening to that, it's the 2nd episode has already dropped. Could be a fun thing to watch, and by could be, it's the funnest thing possible for me. I hope you enjoy it as well. All right, my loves. Like I said, all of that. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe. Make art, and I'll talk to you later. Okay. Bye.